What is something the United States of America does better than any other country? I was born in Europe and moved to the USA as a young teen. The US gets assimilation really well. Like, you become part of some group fairly quickly, and there are many to pick from. In Europe, we had 2 boys in school, one from the US and one from India. Those kids got picked on for years and years. They never ever were going to be considered to be one of us. And never will. The US has this thing where if you play a sport and win as a team, or get through something difficult together like a math competition or a science lab, or play in a band that sounded good, suddenly you are one of everyone else. I had never experienced that before. It felt good. The USA is an ongoing team project. They don't call it the Great American Experiment for nothing. Absolutely this. My grandparents were destitute Asian immigrants on one side, and the other side had a land grant from the King of England dated 1642. My parents met, married, and had us kids. We are considered 100% American. Nobody questions our parentage, our heritage, our cultural background. My little southern town has Greek festival, a Filipino food truck that is the absolute best, pizzerias and soul food joints, and they all serve French fries. We casually assimilate everything and make it work. This is why I don't understand all of the hate that I see portrayed in media, and the people that let it into their hearts. Being American was always about accepting each other, and trying to build a world together no matter where you come from. Or maybe I do understand it, and I just wish that I didn't. I want to love my neighbors, and I generally do. I have a hard time loving neighbors who hate their neighbors though. I've heard from others our air conditioning is top-notch. As an American, I guess I take this for granted. I didn't know that AC isn't the same all over the world. What makes American air conditioning top-notch? Aircon isn't standard in most of Europe outside of hotels and businesses. Even then, it's often pretty poorly maintained. When checking into a hotel in Asia, the first thing I do is wash the air conditioning filter in the room's unit. They are always filthy dirty no matter how many stars the hotel has. This guy HVACs. National parks. The 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The parks are such an underrated American thing. It's the one unnecessary government function that no one complains about, everyone can enjoy, and brings tourism from all over the world. Not to mention the views. Glacier NP in the spring will make you a believer. Thanks to one of our more badass presidents, Teddy Roosevelt, our national park system is the gift that keeps on giving. 7.2k upvotes, this is amazing. Thank you everyone. 100%. I'm an immigrant from Brazil, and one of the things that always amazes me to no end is the lengths the US has gone through to make its natural beauty accessible to regular folk. Brazil has incredible natural beauty, but 99% of it is completely inaccessible to the public. There aren't even roads to get there. The few parks that the public can go are only accessible by hiring professional tour groups to take you there. It's really sad. Build aircraft carriers. The US built 151 aircraft carriers during World War II. 151. That was just aircraft carriers. The sheer military production during World War II was insane. During the height of WW II, the US was building a brand new B-24 bomber every 63 minutes. The enemy could shoot down 12 bombers during a bombing run, and the next day, not only would those 12 bombers have been replaced, but another 12 would be there to join them. My grandfather was a big Ford fan, and he loved sharing that Henry Ford said that for every bomber shot down they would build 3 more. The production line was a mile long or something else crazy like that. The scale of WW2 is just unbelievable. Hollywood movies. American blockbuster movies are popular all around the world. No other country produces movies of the same degree of spectacle and quality. Entertainment and culture are our biggest exports. Disability protections and accommodations. The ADA is the world's golden standard, and it's not even remotely close. Cultural imperialism, soft power. Heard a quote once, I love it. China has kung fu. China has pandas. China is unable to create Kung Fu Panda. I heard a point about Kung Fu Panda and how the US was able to make a great movie about Chinese culture better than the Chinese movie industry, in large part because American characters can be shown to be vulnerable and fallible. This is in contrast with Chinese media characters who are supposedly shown to always be good role models and almost infallible, as this would be disrespectful. This difference is what gives American characters more depth and allows us to have better stories than many countries. Not sure how accurate this is, but thought it was an interesting point. We have the most Olympic medals. So, Olympicing. No. This doesn't do it justice. The US has 61 gold medals at the Summer Olympics alone. Out of all countries on this planet right now, Great Britain has the second most all-time medals at 950. The US has over 100 more gold medals than any country has gold, silver, and bronze at both the Summer and Winter Olympics combined. We're the best at being fat and the best at being fit. The system of national parks. Logistics. Holy fucking shit, do we do logistics well? Name your item, your point A and point B somewhere on Earth, and the United States could get it done in a day if it was so inclined. When it comes to logistics, the US military alone is the single greatest organization that has ever existed in human history. Our civilian world isn't far behind. Our freight rail is as good as our passenger rail is bad. Use the last of the coffee this morning? Amazon will have a fresh batch at your doorstep before you get back from work. The US having an ice cream ship floating around in the Pacific during World War II is the biggest logistical flex ever. Cybersecurity. I just recently learned that the United States of America is the top gold standard in all things cybersecurity. I was actually a little surprised. Entertainment. Americans love to be entertained. We spend more money on entertainment than anybody anywhere. That's all kinds of entertainment, from movies, music concerts, amusement parks, and even smaller forms of entertainment like movie theaters, bars and nightclubs, bowling alleys, laser tag, and even food videos. People don't realize that the NSA could dumpster every other cybersecurity agency on the planet, all combined. Strategically, it doesn't, because every time NSA moves, watchers learn a little more about what capabilities it has, and potentially what vulnerabilities it has. That's why countries like Russia and China try to have their own independent internet capabilities, because they're afraid NSA will just turn their internet off one day, like a planet-wide EMP. Or worse, that they have backdoors into everything. Their job isn't really to stop terrorists or ransomware or etc., it's a nuclear equivalent deterrent to cyber, WW3. Complimentary water with every meal. And not paying to use a restroom. I just paid €1 to empty my bladder. Cultural assimilation. Pretty much anything you can think of from anywhere in the world, we've got it here, somewhere. Mexican, Japanese, Chinese, Nigerian, Korean, French, etc. If you like the food, music, literature, religion, whatever, you can find it here. Apparently, the US produces the most crude oil. EIA.government/todayinenergy/detail. PHP? ID equals 61545. Sounds like the US could use some freedom. The US is unmatched by anyone in the world in two things. 1. Landing people on the moon and returning them safely to the Earth. 2. Putting cheese-like products in spray cans. I'm an American living in Canada. I can tell you with no uncertainty that Americans are just better at hamburgers. I hate the stereotype, but it's true. Even the places here that are allowed to cook their meat to temperature, Canada has strict rules about meat handling, so most places just cook them all well done, don't really understand all of the other stuff that's supposed to go on a good burger. Whole wheat bun with kale is just fucking gross, and I've seen it more than a few times. America just has the right mixture of ignorance of consequences, indulgence, culture, and availability of ingredients that hamburgers are just better. Soft power. No country does it as well as the US. Despite its many shortcomings, people are drawn to the US. Films, TV, music, food, it's got such a magnetic pull. It is so refreshing to see the positive feedback in this feed overwhelm the negative feedback about what's happening in America. I haven't been this proud of where I live in a while because of all the negative shit that fills most of the space, but then I see feeds like this that show how fucking awesome it is to be living here in America during this day and time. Truly grateful. I'm proud to be an American. As a European, my answer to this is stand-up comedy, male, female, white, black, whatever you mention. America has just the most incredible people in the world of stand-up. I feel it genuinely is America's true art form. It's the best part of U.S culture for me.